All right. Well, let me just move this over here. There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you happen to be. My name is Christopher Harrison. This is Code and Coffee. Actually, probably the last Code and Coffee, where I get on and just sort of poke around at things. And yeah, so today what I want to poke around at is going to be Prisma, which is a relatively new ORM object relational mapper for Node.js. It just went to release version, whatever it is that we call that in today's day and age, where we're not actually printing CDs anymore. And I'm sure that there's some segment of my viewership going, they used to make CDs. Actually, they used to make floppy disks, but that's a totally different story. But anyway, yeah. So this is going to be the last Code and Coffee stream. I might pop on periodically. I might do this over on my personal Twitch channel, just to get on and explore things in the future. But as far as having this as a regular everyday thing on Thursdays, today's going to be the last one. That unfortunately, just with everything else that I have going on, including another show, including a lot of other content that I develop, and so forth, something had to give. It just it becomes an awful lot, and so unfortunately, this is the space that that's going to be given up. And I'm certainly going to miss it. It's always great to interact with chat. It's always great to just explore, learn things on camera, make mistakes on camera. That's always fun. But yeah, it's time to move on. It's time for a little bit of a change here, and it's also going to give me an opportunity to focus in on some other projects that I have coming up, which should be a fair bit of fun. So yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and take a look at our quote-unquote guest of honor today, which is going to be Prisma. So I honestly, this is a true story. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Mark says thanks for doing this for as long as you have. I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. It's been fun. So Prisma. So I honestly, this is a true story. I literally heard about Prisma about like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, something like that. I went, oh, well, that's kind of neat. Let me get in and explore it. And this seemed to be the perfect space for me to get in and do this. So Prisma labels itself as you can see right here, next generation ORM for Node.js and TypeScript. And one thing that's very interesting about Prisma is the fact that it is a true ORM. So for those of you who are not familiar, ORM stands for Object Relational Mapper, where what you're going to do is you're going to have your objects over here in code, and you're going to have your relational database over here that's going to be storing all of your data. And you've got something in the middle, your Object Relational Mapper, that's then going to manage the back and forth there. So that way I use this middle piece, and this is going to feel relatively natural to me as a developer. That will take my objects, convert that into the appropriate SQL, insert that into my database, and then if I need to like do a select statement, it will then go ahead and convert some API calls into selects, make that call, get the data, convert that into the appropriate objects, and then give that back to me. Now, the most popular mapper, I'm going to use my terminology sort of specifically here. The most popular mapper in this space is Mongoose. And Mongoose is technically an ODM, so an object document mapper, because Mongoose is specifically designed for Mongo. And Mongo is by far the most common backend for working with with Node. That it's typically what you think of if you're going to be working with Node and JavaScript. And so Prisma is a little bit different in that space, is that it is a true ORM that at least as of this moment, it does not support Mongo. Now, I have heard rumors that it is going to eventually support Mongo. I don't know whether or not any of those are true, but that is something that that I've heard, is that this will eventually support Mongo. But for right now, it's relational databases. And what you're going to notice is that it's for Postgres, for MySQL, for SQLite, and then it will eventually, or at least at the moment, it's in preview, but it is eventually going to have full support for Microsoft SQL Server. Now, one of the things that's really interesting, I think, about this, besides the fact that it's truly an ORM, that it is specific to an object, it is specific to relational databases, is the fact that it does have TypeScript support right out of the box. And if you're anything like me, and I know I am, you're a big fan of TypeScript, because what TypeScript gives to you is type safety. That when I go in and I set up an interface or a class or something else inside of TypeScript, I'm now going to get IntelliSense, I'm going to get autocomplete, and I'm also going to get validation errors, so that if I'm not using an object correctly, then TypeScript is going to let me know, hey, that's not there. And so Prisma does have TypeScript support right out of the box, which is fantastic. And one of the other things that the way that I understand it, that this does things, is it does even provide inline IntelliSense as well. So you'll notice that it will give me an IntelliSense, that first name, that email, whether or not somebody is active. As well. So it's giving me all of those different properties right there inside of IntelliSense, which if we compare this to Mongo, Mongo really doesn't give that to us. That with Mongo, I can go ahead and create a schema, and if I'm using TypeScript, I can create interfaces for that. But it's very much up to me to go in and create those interfaces. The way that I understand Prisma, and I'm going to take a look at the quick start here in just a minute, is that Prisma will actually do a lot of that for me. So I'm going to be able to just create the schema one time and not have to create the interfaces as well, which in my mind, already puts this a step above Mongoose. And I want to make sure that I'm very careful here. I'm in no way, shape, or form bashing Mongoose. I think Mongoose is fantastic. I love Mongoose. I use it constantly. But this does give me a little bit of an advantage over Mongoose if it will give me that automatic typing without me having to create the interface and create the schema, which always just felt a little bit weird to me when working with Mongoose. So Daniel asked a couple of questions here. Is Prisma something that new to web developers should learn? The answer to that question is honestly, I don't know. Prisma is actually relatively new. I know that it is gaining some level of popularity, but I don't know whether or not somebody that's new to web dev should necessarily learn it. I don't know enough information to be able to answer that question, unfortunately. And then the next question is TypeScript a different way of interacting with the DOM, similar to JavaScript? And the short answer to that question is sort of. So TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. And the big thing that TypeScript is designed to do is to help overcome some of the shortcomings with JavaScript. That JavaScript is weakly typed, meaning that when I declare a variable, that there's no specific type that's assigned to that variable. And this poses an awful lot of problems because depending on where I am, especially if I'm working with like a function and I've got a parameter, I may not know what data type it is that I'm actually working with. And so as a result, your IntelliSense or your autocomplete, depending on the editor that you're using, isn't necessarily going to be able to help you out an awful lot. Like it's not going to know exactly what properties are available off of an object and so forth. And so it can lead to a lot of problems. And they give you like a perfect example here, where what you're going to notice is that we declare a user, first name, last name, role, and then we do a console log user.name. And this becomes a runtime error in JavaScript. And that's kind of a bad thing, because the only way for me to detect that I've done something wrong is to run my application. And that not only slows things down, but it also leads to bugs out in production. So with TypeScript, what happens is user would actually inherently become a type, and you can actually see the little IntelliSense that it's giving me here on the screen, is it would have a type of first name, last name, and role, all of, in this case, type string. And if I don't think this will let me edit. It won't. Yeah, if I added in maybe like age or something like that, and I set that to a number, then it would even be able to detect the fact that that was a number. And so TypeScript will then enforce this bit of type safety for me. So it will ensure that if I go to update the first name, that it's always going to be a string, and it will give me IntelliSense down here, and it will ensure at design time that I'm using it correctly. So it would not let me do that user.name. It's going to give me an error message in my IDE. It's instead going to say, hey, this needs to be either first name or last name. So yeah, so it's really cool. The one little challenge that you will run into is it's not the TypeScript that runs. It's always going to be the JavaScript that runs. So there is an additional step that needs to take place, that it does need to convert the TypeScript into JavaScript. And the JavaScript is always going to be what runs, but it does in the long run, no pun intended there, make your life better as a developer, because it's going to help you eliminate a full class, a rather large class of bugs that comes up with JavaScript. And it does give you a lot of other great capabilities as well. It makes it easier to manage large projects. It allows you to more consistently use new features, maybe if you're working with some runtimes that don't necessarily support them and so forth. So there's a lot of advantages beyond just that, but the big thing that TypeScript gives to you is that static typing, which is fantastic. And TypeScript is definitely one of those things that I recommend that all web developers learn, and especially because of the fact that you're seeing a lot more projects start going down this path of TypeScript. That, like, even Angular, which is maintained by Google, uses TypeScript, which is pretty interesting. So then Daniel asked the question, should you still be learning TypeScript, or sorry, should you still be learning JavaScript or switch over to TypeScript? And the answer is you should definitely become at least familiar with, you should at least become familiar with JavaScript first. Because when you go in and you take a look at the docs for TypeScript, they are going to assume some level of JavaScript experience, and it'll also just make you feel a little bit more comfortable with that TypeScript experience, especially given the fact that TypeScript syntax, about 80% of it, 75% of it is JavaScript. So if you're learning JavaScript already, you're going to feel that much more at home inside of TypeScript. I do want to highlight the fact that the docs are actually really good in TypeScript, so definitely worth checking out there. And if I go look at Microsoft Learn here, oops, that was not the one that I wanted. I wanted the full learning path. Build JavaScript. There we go. Open this up. There we go. And then there's also a full learning path that you can go check out that will help you get up and running with TypeScript. So if you're looking to dig a little bit deeper, you could go check out those resources. Okay. So let's bring this back to Prisma here. And so I'm going to go into the little quick start here. And I like the fact that it's already set for TypeScript here. So that's kind of nice. And it does have a little starter project here which I could go ahead and use, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to build from scratch here. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, so let's go with add to an existing project, and let's, oh, that's interesting. I want SQLite. That's interesting. I want SQLite. Okay, let me go to the quick start here. And this is just Typescript. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just, like I said, I'm literally kind of learning all of this right now. So it'll be very interesting to see how this works. Trying to think, how do I want to do this? Let's get a sip of coffee first. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do this with an existing project because this is what I have. I have an existing project that I'm going to add this into. So I think I'm going to start with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and figure out how to get this to work with MySQL, or sorry, not MySQL, SQLite. So I'll figure that part out, which I think I'll be able to just go grab from that other doc. And then I'll go ahead and start to set up the rest here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So let's do this. So this page walks you through the process of adding Prisma to a TypeScript project with an existing database. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's not what we want. We want a new database. Starting from scratch then. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, I think this will work. All right, let's do this. Okay. So let me do this. Let me come over here real quick to Visual Studio Code. And so what I have right now is I have a little project that I've been working on the last couple of weeks. It uses Svelte and it uses Tailwind CSS to just do some very basic to-do management. And the to-dos that I have is just a very basic structure where there's just the text and then whether or not it's completed, and that's it. So that's my front end. And the one thing that I hadn't built yet is the back end, and that's what I want to take a look at. So let's do this. I'm going to set up my back end here with an Azure function. So let me open up my extensions here. Let me set this up. Whoops, that's not what I want. Let me open up Azure. There we go. Let me set this up with an Azure function. So let me say new project, and I don't have an API folder yet. Okay, not a problem. Boop, API. There we go. Now let's go ahead and give this another shot. So back over here to Azure and functions. Let's say new functions. And let's say browse and that API folder. Okay, cool. And we're going to use TypeScript as our language. And I really don't care too much about what the first template is going to be. So I'm just going to say HTTP trigger, and I'm just going to call this tasks for right now. And basically just leave the defaults. Basically, I just wanted to set up the Azure function part of this. That's literally all that I wanted it to do, and it did that. Okay, and it is giving me red here because I haven't done npm install yet, and that's okay. All right. So now it's got my package JSON with the initial stuff that I'm going to need for my Azure function. So now let's go ahead and API. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and start this. So I want to install Prisma, TypeScript, TS node, and then the types node. Okay. It's in, one of the things that's interesting here is that these are all dev dependencies. So Prisma is not a production dependency, it's a dev dependency. That's really interesting. I'm going to be curious to see kind of how the rest of that works. Okay. So that's installed. And so now it creates a TS a package JSON, and then next create a TS config and add the following to it. So let's see, do I already have in my API folder a TS config? I do. So let's add what they want us to add here. I'll just sort of build all of that in. Source map is true, is already there. Output directory is already there. My lib is not there. Let's get that added in. There we go. My strict, we want that set to true. There we go. And then that ES interrupt module thing. There we go. Okay. All right. So I brought that in. Okay, so that's looking good. And now I can invoke the Prisma CLI by using npx Prisma. And then I can create the schema by using npx Prisma init. Okay. npx Prisma. Cool. And then npx Prisma init. Oops. I think it was just, yeah. Okay, so let's see. My database was schema. It was created at Prisma wax schema.prisma. Okay, and so now set up my database URL in the .m file and set the provider, the data source. I don't. Oh, okay. And then db pull to turn my database schema into a Prisma data model, and then generate to generate the client. Interesting. Okay. All right. So let's see. So there's Prisma, and then, yeah, there's my schema. Okay. And I think actually, if I remember right, there's an extension for Prisma. Yeah. So let's go ahead and install that. Whoosh. Okay. And then now, let's go ahead and schema Prisma. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now we're getting some nice color coding. That looks good. That looks good. All right. And now, let's see. My provider, PostgreSQL, I don't want that. I want that to be SQLite instead. Yep. Okay. SQLite. And then the database URL, and I think that's going to be in my .m file. Yeah, okay. And let's see, what should it be for SQLite? Let me go to the guides here, see if it's in here. And there's everything with deployment. All of that is good. Where is SQLite reference, database reference, connection URLs. There we go. SQLite. Okay, just wherever the file happens to be. So let's I think SQLite 3 is what it should be. And let's just leave that named as dev. Okay. So in theory, that should create a SQLite file in here. In theory. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out here. Okay. All right. So I need to adjust all of that. Okay, cool. And we did all of that. All right. So now create tables. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So in this guide, we'll use Prisma Migrate to create the tables in our database. So it's giving us a model that we can now add in. And so what you're going to notice here, and this is pretty common really with any ORM that you're going to be working with, is it's going to give us the opportunity to create a schema. And so here's our model, and then we give it a name, and then we do everything from there. So we've got our ID, and that's going to be of type integer. We've got a title, and that's going to be string. And then we've got content. Oh, and you can even make it optional. Okay, cool. And then there's our published. All right, so let's create one for our task. So let's go ahead. Let's go back over to our schema Prisma. Give myself some more space. Let's put this down at the bottom here. And what is it? Model. Oh, look at that. I get IntelliSense. Let's say task. Cool. And I want ID. I get int. Look at that. That's cool. And then I'm going to set my default on this. Check that out. And this is going to be auto increment. And then we'll mark this as the ID. I dig it. Okay. And then is there a comma? There isn't. All right. So now, let's see. What did was it text incompleted or title incompleted? I don't remember now. I have a great memory. It's just really short. Text. Okay. So let's say text. Kind of line all of this up. String. And then let's do that at db Well, that's a little disappointing. I'm not getting... Oh, it's not supported for SQLite. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's why. All right. That's a little disappointing. It'd be nice if it at least let me do it because, you know, typically you're going to do local development and things like that on SQLite, and then you'll publish out, and then you'll be using, Postgres or MySQL or SQL Server or whatever it is. So it'd be nice if I could here be able to say, even though I'm still using SQLite, it'd be nice if I could be able to say at db dot, and then make that a thing. I can at least make it unique, which is kind of cool. Let's do that. Kind of test that out. And then let's go ahead and say completed. Let's do a little bit of kind of tabbing and formatting here. And let's say Boolean. And then there's a default, at default, and let's make this false. Okay, cool. All right, so there's my data type. And you'll notice if you look in here that I can create relationships between them. So I've got a post here, and that's going to point to to my user, you can actually just see the data type there. So that points down to my user. My user has a profile, which is up here. And we can create the relationship there as well. That's kind of cool. I dig that. All right. So now to map my data model to the database schema, I need to use Prisma migrate. Okay. So what this will do is it will create a new SQL migration file for this migration and then runs it against the database. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Okay, did something. That's good. No error messages. Loaded the environment variable from .env. Created the file. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Created my migration. I'm curious how that looks. But yeah, look at that. It just generated the SQL. It's exactly what I would want it to do. And then that way, like if you have an environment where you're where you've got a DBA and the DBA is going to be the one that will, publish that out, then they can just grab that SQL. So that's really nice that it just generates the SQL for you and then just gives that to you. So that's cool. And then, yeah, so there's our SQLite. And I do have a SQLite. Yeah, I do have a SQLite extension here. Yeah, and so now I could just open that up. I think. Yeah, SQLite Explorer. Let me just collapse all of that out. Let me zoom out just a touch here. Give myself a little bit more space. There we go. Yeah, look at that. And there's our task. I do kind of wish it was tasks instead. I wish it pluralized, but that's okay. And then, yeah, it's got the ID, my integer. You'll notice it's marked as a primary key. There's my text, and there's my completed Boolean. All right. Okay, cool. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I've got a database now. Yep. And then there's all of our SQL. And then now generate the client. Okay. So let's do that. All right, there's our client. And it's tailored to our models. That's cool. And so now when I make changes in the future, I manually need to invoke Prisma generate. Okay, that's important. Okay. All right. And so before we get in and do it with an Azure function, which is eventually where I'm going to want it, let's just do this from the command line. Let's just create the index TS file here like it says. So let's do that. I want this. Okay. Index.ts. Whoosh. Okay. Let's see. All right. So there's my Prisma client. Prisma equals new Prisma client. There's our function main, and I'll write my queries here. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without looking at the docs. Let's see how intuitive this is. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. So I've got a task right here. And I've got find first, find many, update, and then create. Okay, let's do create. And then what do you want? You want... Like, in theory, what I would think you would want, I would think you would want a task. Okay, I need to go look apparently. Let's see. I don't want find many. I want create. Oh, okay. Ah, all right. I was getting close. Okay. So in here, I'm going to say data colon, and then this is now title test completed false. And you're still not happy with something. Expected 1 argument, but got 2. Oh, right. Yeah, because I've got 1 too many curly braces. There we go. Look at that. Oh, okay. And now, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So this is, somebody was asking, Daniel was asking earlier about TypeScript. And this is like one of the big advantages to having TypeScript is you'll notice that when I was like kind of bumbling through this, when I was struggling through this, it was giving me red squiggly. So it was telling me right away, hey, you're not doing something right. And that's not something at all that you're going to see in JavaScript, because in JavaScript, it's not going to know whether or not you're doing it right or not. It's just not going to know that that my data has that structure there. But with TypeScript, it's going to be able to let me know, hey, you're not doing something right here, which is just wonderful that it's able to do that. And so now, and this is really what I was hoping for, is you'll notice that now my data goes, hey, this isn't structured correctly. This needs to be a task. And so now I need to go in and say text, and then this is going to be my my text. What is that? That is going to be just a test. And then my completed, and then we'll set this to be, let's set this to be true. Okay. All right. I dig it, I dig it. Okay. Let's see. And writes new user, and then now, okay. And so we'll just use TS node to run it. All right, let's give it a shot. Whoa, I didn't copy that correctly. Whoops. npx ts node index.ts. A new minor version is available of npm. Of course it is. That's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Actually, you know what? Let me just, because otherwise, install g npm 7.11.1. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right, fine. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is that my code ran, which is good. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. So my code ran. So now let's go back to SQLite here. Let's open up my SQLite Explorer. And then now, show table. And just move that over there. And look at that. And then sure enough, there's my just a test. And then there's that completed set to 1. Okay, cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. I'm going to do the find in a minute here. But what I'm really curious about is what did it create? What did it generate? So let me open up Prisma. Let's see. Where are you? Prisma client. Because you generate something, right? See if I can find what it's generating. I don't know where it's putting it. Um, Okay, node modules, Prisma client. I'm curious. Export everything from Prisma client, index. Okay. Just trying to find, I don't want to dig too deep into this, but I'm just curious if I can see what it's generating. Let me do this. Let's F12 that. Oh, and that's just going to give me the generic. Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, I can't quite figure out where it's creating. Yeah, I can't quite figure out where it's creating the data types. I'd be curious about that. But okay, all right, that's cool. But regardless, it is doing that for me, and that's really the important part. So let me actually just comment out that create here, and let me do a find all. So let's say const tasks equals await Prisma task find many. Okay. And let's take a look at the find many here. How does this work? Okay, so if I just do it with that, then in theory, it should just give me all tasks. Let's run that. Let's see. Yep. Okay. It's exactly what we expected. All right. And then how do I create a query then? Okay, sure. There's the update. You put the where in. I can see that. Sure. Okay, continue exploring the client. Check out the API reference. All right. Let's see. I've done that. Okay, so working with a Prisma client. Logging pool, generating the client. That's not what I want. Let's go to CRUD. Create read. Okay, so find unique. We'll do it. Okay, so I put in a where statement. I'm going to guess that works for find many as well. Let's do that. Let's see. So let's go where. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. And then text. And I think there's also like a starts with or something. Or like contains and all of that good stuff. Oh, okay. I get it. Text And then I can say, oh, look at that, like ends with or starts with. Okay, so what did I call it? Just a test. So let's say starts with, I'm going to go lowercase first. I'm really curious if it's case sensitive. So let's do that. Okay, cool. It's insensitive. That's exactly what I would expect. Let's just prove that that's working. Let's just put in Wibble there. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I dig it. Yeah. So I'm curious what other operators I have then. I can never remember how to bring up all of the silly properties here. Okay, so I've got filtering. Let's just bring up the doc. There we go. So let's see. So I've got ends with. What does sum do? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So a one-to-many relationship between user and post allows you to query based on their post. For example, the following query returns at least one post, some that has more than 10 views. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna go back and play with that a little bit later. Okay, so has there. Case insensitive. That's exactly what I would want. I can change my mode. All right. Filter conditions. Full list of operators. There we go. This is what I want. Okay, so equals makes sense. So not, again, makes sense. In, okay, so if I give it a list, all right, sure. And then again, my not to reverse that, not in, sure. Less than equal, greater than equal, contains. Okay. All right, starts with, ends with. I'm curious, is there a contains? Yeah, there is a contains. Okay. All right. I dig it. Okay. Let's see. So let's start adding this in now into my Azure function here. Let's create a full backend. By the way, there's people mowing the lawn outside. I don't know if the sound is coming through the mic or not. I apologize if it is. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. And let me just make sure npm install. Just make sure everything is installed. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's start building this up here. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, let me, because there was a doc somewhere in here about Azure Functions. Search documentation, Azure Functions. Deploying to Azure Functions. Okay. Together with Azure SQL as the database. Okay, download the samples and install the dependencies. I was kind of hoping for kind of hoping for something that would give me a little bit of just like code that I could go look at. You know, let me just do this. Let me try it this way. Let's just go to GitHub, Prisma samples, TypeScript. Deployment platforms. There we go. Azure functions. There we go. Okay. So let's see. So I just want to see. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Let's just start poking at this. Let's see if we can't figure this out. Okay. That's not really what I want. I don't want to write it that way. I want hold on. Let me just start here. Let's just okay. So that looks good. And so now let's see if I can just do like a find all. So let's say const tasks equals Prisma task find many. And then let's go ahead, make sure I have an await on that. And then let's go ahead and tasks, and then can't remember if it's header or just headers. I think it's I'm gonna go look at this. This probably has it. It doesn't. That's funny. That's all right. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember which it is. All right, that's all right. Okay, let's do that. So now, let's start my Azure function here. So let's package JSON. Okay, npm run start. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Okay, cool. So work process started initialized. Hey, look at that. Cool. All right, that works. That works. Okay. So let's do this then. If rec dot method is get, then we'll go ahead and return everything. Otherwise, else if rec method, let's make sure I've got quotes equals post. Then let's go ahead and create. So I'm going to grab the body. So let's say const new task equals, and I want, what do I want? I want rec body. Oh, I should actually do this. And rec body, because there needs to be a body. There we go. And now let's go ahead and say await. Actually, I'm going to go const save task equals await Prisma task create data new task. Okay. And now let's go ahead and build that out. I will set the body to be new task. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, let me test that first. I want there's a REST client that I want to play with that I saw somebody else using. Is this? Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Okay, so what is this called? This is called REST client. Okay, that's creative enough. Extensions, REST client. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so now what I can do is I can now whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Let's create a brand new task HTTP. And so what I want here is that content type application JSON. My text will be from client and my completed true. Okay. And I think, okay, then how do I run this? Send request. I want that to do a post. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I know why. I need to stop and restart this. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and try and run this again. Send request. What went wrong? Ah, okay. I need to convert that to a JSON object. JSON.parse. Actually, no, hold on. I don't need to do that. I just need to make my request correct. True. There we go. Let's try that again. npm run start. And now let's go ahead and send my request. Yeah, look at that. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So that's now working for create. Okay. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Let's go to our client here. Let's go to our little Svelte app. So on my Svelte app right now, there is a, where's my little text box? Yeah, there's my little add to do. And, okay, so it wants add to do. Where is that? There it is. Okay. So let's do this. So I want to const I need to make this asynchronous. Async. So const results equals await fetch post fetch. Can never remember how to do this. Using get and post and fetch. Okay. Post method post. Okay, and then my JSON. Okay. So let's see. So the URL is going to be API tasks. My info is then going to be method post. And then my body is going to be the new task or the new to do. Type to do is not assignable. JSON stringify. Okay, cool. All right. And then my headers. Okay. And then headers. Whoops. Let's put this into the right spot. There we go. Headers and content type application JSON. Okay, that looks good. All right, now I do need one other real quick update. I do need to set up a proxy to go to the right place. Okay. go. And where's my Snowpack config? All right, and let's add in my routes. And there we go. All right, so source for API, and then where I want to go is to, actually I don't want to do a replace though, but I do want to go to port 7071. Yeah, 7071. Okay. All right, let's give this a whirl. npm run dev. Let's see here. Okay, and let's F12. And let's go look at my console from Svelte app. Whoa, that didn't actually work, did it? That seems way too easy. That didn't actually work, did it? Let's go look at my table. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It actually worked. Cool. All right. That's crazy. I can't believe that actually worked. All right. Let's go ahead and let's update this now to do a load instead. So let's see. Let's async function load to-dos. Really wish I wouldn't have changed the name, but that's all right. Oh, you know, something that dawned on me here. Actually, I need to update this. Const. Thank you, Mallory. Nobody's more surprised by this than I am. Const server to do equals await result JSON, and then now I should go ahead and set this to be that server to do. Okay. All right, so now that's fine. Testing again. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's still working. Crazy pants. All right, let's go ahead and let's get my load to-dos then. So let's go ahead and say const result equals await fetch, and let's go with API tasks, and let's say const tasks equals what do I want? I want await result JSON, and then I'm going to go for const task of tasks, and then to-dos push my new tasks. Okay, cool. And then let's call load to-dos. All right, and you know, I need to just gonna Let's start renaming some things here. Let's... Because I'm calling these all tasks, or at least on the server I am. So let's fix that. Okay, gonna have a lot of bugs here. I'm gonna have to run around and fix. Okay, so first and foremost, task. Whoa. Ah, what did you do? Task from types. Okay, task button from Svelte. Tasks. Actually, let's rename that. Tasks, there we go. New task. Yeah, you probably just need to be closed and reopened. That's okay. Whoa. Whoa. Where did my code go like completely sideways in here? Yeesh. Okay. All right, that rename did not behave the way that I would have expected it. I'm gonna need to do a lot of cleanup here. Wait. For const task of tasks, tasks push. Let's do this because I am not going to trust the rename anymore in here. Load tasks. There we go. Add task, keyboard event. There we go. If key is enter, await fetch. I have no idea what went sideways here. And this is going to be new task. All right. Tasks, server task. I'm having to rename this entire thing. All right, and then event target as HTML element focus. Okay. Okay. renaming that turned out to not be the best idea I've ever had. Oh, good grief. All right. You know, let me get this back to a working state. So I have no idea where anything is right now. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's just leave it like that. And you're giving me an error somewhere. Okay. Let's get this back to the state that it was working. Which I think... Okay, I think that was there. All right, let's save this. Let's just close this out and let's reopen that. Okay. All right, so now let's try and rename this again. So let's... Task. 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 Tasks. Task. Sorry, this is going to just take me a minute. Okay. Okay, and then up here, new task. There we go. All right, and then new task, task, and then let's boop, 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 boop. Task. Okay, and then task, task button, oh, tasks, there we go, tasks, task button, and then boop, 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 task, task, ah. And then task. Okay, and then where's my to-do button? It's over here. Task, 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 toggle complete, task, task, and then task. Okay, so that looks good. Add task, new task. All right. Yeesh. All right, let's make sure that this is still working after all of that. Okay, it is. All right, good, good, good. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set up our load tasks finally. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and const result equals await fetch API tasks. Const tasks equals await result JSON, and then for task of tasks. Tasks push. Oh wait, no. Actually, you know what I want to do instead? I want to do this instead. Is I'm just going to actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do that. Just going to say tasks equals that array. And I think, oh, if I call load tasks, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. So now that's loading everything from the server. So that like from Svelte app, testing again, task rename, all of those are now from the server. Cool. As are those. All right. All of this is looking good. All right. Let's see if we can't get an update here. All right. So what am I going to need? 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 I am going to, I'm going to do this. Let's update this so that there's an ID. Oops. And let's make that a number. And let's make ID optional. Because the server is going to create an ID and then give it back to us. So we kind of want the ID. Even though we're not going to use it, I still kind of want that on my interface. So let's just do that. And then now I'm eventually going to move all of this out to a store, which is really where it should be. Okay. So toggle task completed. All right. So let's do this. Let's make this asynchronous. And let's go ahead and results. Actually, hold on. Whoa. Before I do that. Nope. Let me set up my server side first. Okay. Else if rec method equals put and there's a body. Const task equals rec body as, oh look, it does actually create a type for me. Well, that's awesome. That is fantastic. Look at that. I love it. Love to see that. It does create a type for me. Beautiful. All right. Oh, you know what's funny? Yeah, that should send down the save task. Okay. Anyway, so const task, and then let's go ahead and await Prisma task update. Okay, I want a select statement. No. No, what do I want? Where's my Prisma docs? CRUD reference. It's probably one of my favorite acronyms is CRUD. You know, that create, retrieve, update, delete. Just always wonder, you know, what it makes you think of our data, that it's, you know, CRUD. Anyway, I don't know. Little things that make me smile. Okay, so let's say, Prisma update, and then where, and I'm going to say the ID, is going to be task ID, so the one that we just got, that was pushed up to us. And then my data is going to be that task. All right, and then what do you give back to me? You give me back a task. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and return the whole thing back then. So let's say saved task, whoops, const saved task equals, yeah, let's just go ahead and return the whole thing down. Yeah, so there's our put with the new item. There we go. Or the updated item, rather. Okay, and let's make sure I restart that. So that way put is there. Okay, and then let's come over to my apps felt, and I really want all of this in a store. I'll do that in a minute. Const results equals await fetch API tasks, and then method is put my body. Whoa. Lies over the ocean. Body JSON stringify the task in question. Headers. Like that. There we go. And then const updated task equals, wait. Actually, I'm going to do this is, I really shouldn't do it that way. I really shouldn't reassign a parameter name. It's generally not a good way to do it. Okay. But what I do need to do I shouldn't modify the parameter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do task, and then I'm going to say completed, and make that equal to the reverse of the current task. Task completed, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to say const updated task equals await result JSON, and then now I can actually just go updated task. As task. Oh, I don't need the curly braces. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Will this work? All right, let's do a refresh. Okay. Nope. Unexpected end of JSON input. Okay, so that's telling me I got an error somewhere. Okay. Let's see. On my put, let's console log rec body. Okay, let's make sure. Okay. And let's do a real quick refresh. Okay. And oh, hold on. Oh, that's why. Okay. Because this isn't accepting put. That's why. Refresh. Hey, look at that. Ha! That is working. That is awesome. I love it. Cool, cool, cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Yeah, so now I do from Svelte app. That moves over there. That's now been updated. I can actually now go in and look at that in the server here. Let's go back over here and do that. And now, yeah, you can see everything's been updated. That's cool. That's fantastic. I love it. All right. Okay. I've got a half hour left. I'm laughing and I'm smiling because the next step here would be to test fate. Would be to try and push this out to Azure. All of this is now working locally. The next step would be push this out to Azure. All right, let's give this a shot here. Let's see. How to deploy REST API to Azure Functions. Okay. All right. So, sign into Azure using the Azure CLI. All right, I'm going to need to install that real quick. Or actually, no, I know what I can do for that. No, I do need to install that real quick. All right. That's not a problem. In fact, let me just do that now. While I'm kind of reading the docs in the background here. I'm just going to do that in the background. Give me 1 second. I just need to do this. Oh, apparently I didn't copy that. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, that's installing in the background. That looks good. Okay, let's see. So that's done. All right, so I also need to migrate and Okay. All right. So let's see. So it has me go grab their project, which I don't want. And then what it's going to want me to do here is it's going to want me to start doing things on Azure. So let me start doing things on Azure here. So let's say AZ login. Let's do that real quick. I can close that window. All right, cool. All right, I'm now logged in. That's the first thing that it wants me to do. The next thing is to create a resource group. Yep, okay. So AZ group create location West US 2. And then name, Geek Trainer. Actually, hold on. No, I already have AZ group. I've already got a resource group that I want to use. Yeah, my Svelte demo one. Okay, so that'll be the one that I'm going to use. Going to keep everything together. All right, so I've already got the resource group. Check. Create my database. Alrighty. So let's see. AZ SQL Server create location West US 2 group. That's Svelte demo name Svelte demo tasks. I'm going to assume that that's going to be unique. Admin user, and let's Geek Trainer, and then admin password, and I'm going to do that off screen there. I'm going to try and do my best to not share out any of that type of information. We'll see how well I actually do. That's still on the screen. Let's see, generate. Admin password, and then enable public network true. Oh, did I not give this a name? I thought I did. Oh, I know why. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So that is doing its thing in the background here. That's running. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's sitting right over here. It's running. I promise you it is. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Wait for that to do its thing. There we go. Okay, cool. And then, let's see, can I like readjust this so it's not showing my password? I can. All right, cool. So let's bring that back. Okay. So now AZ SQL DB create. My resource group name is my Svelte demo. The server is that Svelte demo tasks. The name that I want to give this is just going to be tasks, and then the service objective, which is the tier level, is going to be basic. Okay, that's doing its thing. All right. And then, yeah, and then this I'm going to do off screen for setting up my firewall rule for my local IP address for obvious reasons. Once this runs. It looks like there's sun outside. I have my blinds closed, but it looks like there's sun coming through. That's nice. It's actually been a gorgeous April out here in Seattle. It's been really nice. Okay, so let's do this off screen here. And now let's go ahead and easy SQL server firewall rule create G svelte demo server svelte demo tasks name allow local access start IP address and doot, then end IP address doot. Okay, that looks good. And okay, cool. All right. And then now to allow access from Azure Functions, you just set the IP address for the firewall rule to be all zeros. One of the really interesting things about Azure SQL is that it's completely locked down so that nobody can access this, even with the username and password, which is kind of interesting. Okay. So now the storage account I don't need, and then the function app I don't need. And the reason for that is because I'm actually using Azure Static Web App. So I don't need that as part of that. So that's good. And so the next thing is I'll need my database URL and let's put that in. Okay. Right. So let's see. All right. So I'm going to put this into my .m file here. Okay, actually, hold on. I'm going to build this. Actually, all right, let's do this. Where's my .env? .env. There it is. Okay, so now this is going to be updated. Let me comment that one out. And then now my updated database URL is going to be this long thing here. Okay. And so this is going to want my database server name, which was svelte. What did I call it? I have a great memory. It's just really short. Demo tasks. And then my DB name was just simply tasks. And then the user was geek trainer at, and then svelte demo tasks. And then my password. And let's do that off screen here. I want want this. Do-do-do. There we go. And then I think the rest is good. Okay. All right. So I think that that's good. So that's going to go there. All right. That's inside my .env. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go back over here to my code. All right. And let's bring this back up. So I want I don't need to do that. Now I need to create the database. Okay, this is what I want. Let's see if this works. Whoops. API. Nope. Oh, right, because I need to update. Where's my Prisma schema? Prisma schema, and this needs to be, instead of SQLite, MS SQL? No? What are my options? Can you tell me? SQL Server. Oh, okay. Take two. Okay, so I need to get rid of my migration directory and do it again. That's a little unfortunate. It's a little clunky. I really wish that it would support multiple database types there, and it doesn't seem to. Which, on a related note, can I now do this? Now I can do the @db, and now I can go and varchar 255. Yeah, it's a little disappointing. I really wish that it would support the multiple databases, but that's all right. No pending migrations to apply. That's interesting. Wait, what's the command to create the migrations? Okay, let's see. So create the Prisma file. Generally should not edit or delete a migration that's already been applied. Okay, well, that ship has sailed. Let's see. Okay. npx npx Prisma migrate. Let's see. Reset. Yes. Okay. Database reset successful. All right. Let's migrate, deploy. You know, I wonder... I wonder if I need to do the dev first here. Well, it's pausing. I'm gonna go back and look at the docs here. All right, so what is... Give me database is... okay. Generates a history of SQL files. Okay. If you're prototyping, consider using DB push. Well, we'll go back and look at that later, I guess. Okay. So let's see. So create the first migration. So Prisma migrate dev. And then that I think will then, yeah, that should in theory create the migrations. And then now... generate and apply migrations in dev. Okay. And then where's the deploy? Okay. In production testing environments, use to apply the migrations. Okay, so that doesn't generate them. Okay, so I did want the dev. That's taking its own sweet time now. Not a coffee. But I'm not. Okay. Let's see. All right, let me do like a create only first. Create a migration without applying it. Let's try that first. npx. Let's try that. This is taking its own sweet time here. I don't quite know why. Waiting is the hardest part, as one troubadour once told us. Okay, all of that looks fine. Hamstring cramped up real quick there. All right, I'm curious. Let's go back and look at my connection string here. See if maybe I messed that up. Let's see. Where's... Oh! There we go. It was just taking its own sweet time. There we go. Name of migration. SQL. And now it's going to take more time. At least I got to that part. That's good, yes. Okay, all right. Now let's try the deploy. Okay, there we go. Migrations have successfully been applied. Awesome. Okay, fantastic. So let's go ahead. I think I need to run npx Prisma generate as well. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Now, let's see. cd ... get status, git add everything, git commit added Prisma, git checkout b added Prisma, git push u origin added Prisma, go. Okay, so that's going to push out to GitHub, which is automatically going to start pushing this out through Azure Static Web Apps. So let me open up the Azure portal here. Chugga. And let's go into my Svelte to-dos. And let's, yeah, so this will automatically do that as a staging environment, which is fine. But I do want configuration. And let's, okay. You know what I'm going to need to do then? Let's just do this. GitHub, my Svelte to-dos. Let's just merge the PR. Or create a PR and merge it. Let's just, boop. There we go. Let's just merge it. Theoretically, we should like set up a staging environment and so forth, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. And let's go look at my actions here. Yeah. Okay. This is going to take it a minute as it's doing its deployment here. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Moving your mouse makes it go faster. Seeing all of the little warn files show up in red, especially when they don't necessarily mean anything, always a little disconcerting. Okay. Ah, shoot. Dang it. Okay. Module Prisma client has no exported member task. You know, I wonder, I'm really curious about something here. Package JSON. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm gonna do a close all here. Let me just get some cleanup done here. Let's get rid of that SQLite Explorer. Let's see. Okay, so task is there. Okay. Oh, let me see. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can solve this. Okay. So now, okay. Let's see if that works. So I think my problem is I just need to regenerate the client on the server as well. Let's see. Actions. Let's see. Snowpack build, that's doing its thing. All of that looks good, okay. And then now, Prisma generate. Huzzah! That's working. Cool. That was the fix. I just need to generate the client on the server as well because of the fact that I'm using TypeScript. Cool. All right. Now then, now that that's doing that, I do need to little smoke and mirrors here real quick because I need my connection string in production as well. So let me do that. Boop, boop, boop. Alrighty. Come on. There we go. Add database URL, my value, hit OK, and hit save. Okay, cool. So now, let's go back over here to my code. All right, so now I've got my database URL, the value there with my password and all of that good stuff. Now let's go back to my overview and let's open this up and let's see what happens. Uh-oh. API tasks. Dang it. It gave me a 500. Do you need to restart or something? Did you finish deploying? Let's kind of start there. You did. Okay. So that's good. So let's kind of start closing a few windows here. So what's my 500 error? That's not the window that I want. Neither of those are the windows that I want. Server responded 500. Okay. Let's see. Do I have App Insights installed? I do. Okay, perfect. All right. So let's enable that. Hit save. Cool. And now let's go ahead and hit refresh here to regenerate everything. And now let's go to, let's go home. Let's go to Application Insights. Oh, Svelte to-dos, there we go. Let's open that up. And then, I'm trying to remember how to use this. Performance. I think this is where I'm supposed to be. Availability. Okay. Yeah, I think eventually here. It's funny. True story, I literally wrote the doc on this and I cannot remember where it is I'm supposed to go to pull up a 500 message. Yeah, that's not what I want. Where do I want to be? I want troubleshooting errors. There we go. Okay. So where am I supposed to be? I want okay. Under investigate, select failures. Let's see. Under investigate, select failures. Aha, there we go. Okay. And so now, yeah, drill into two operations, look it up with the docs. You know, Samuel, what's hilarious is, and this is a little true story. Scroll up here. I want to point this out. I wrote this doc. And I still had to go back and look at it. I literally wrote this doc, and I still had to go back and take a look at it. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Okay. And so now, yeah, so here's my 500, and oh wow, this is just way too big. And then where is my error message? Okay. Huh. Worker was unable to load function tasks because the client did not initialize yet. Okay. You know what? I think I need to update my code. Where is their little, yeah, okay. Let's deployment platforms, Azure functions. Okay. Lib Prisma. All right, how is that loading? That's nothing. That's nothing. Okay, let's see. Is there like a funny git ignore that's happening here? Ah, there is. Look at that. Yeah, my dist folder isn't going up. Although I'm generating that. I think this might be my problem. Wait, maybe. Dist tasks. Yeah, this is, I think, my problem. Okay. How do I... Oh, that's funny. All right. Git add everything, git commits, am, include dist, git push. I can just do git push. Go ahead and ask your question, Samuel. This is going to take a minute to run, so please, by all means, feel free to ask your question. Let this do its thing. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Pulling on deployment. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question, Samuel. Been looking at what I'm wondering about Svelte as a front-end framework. It is. Yep. Yeah, Svelte is a front-end framework. I really like it. I've just like started playing around with it, but what I really like is it feels like very much like just normal TypeScript or JavaScript. So it feels like very natural to me. So I'm definitely a big fan of it. Okay. So let's, we're still getting that 500 error. And let's see, I'm willing to bet, let's refresh this. How long ago? Okay, you haven't yet seen my new errors. Okay, there we go. I still don't have the new ones yet. I don't know if that's legit or not. There we go. Okay. All right, give me... No, don't do that. I want the error message. Show me the error message. Show me the error message. Ah, here we go. Prisma client did not, and please run Prisma generate. It's not really what I would expect. You know, let me run this locally real quick. Let's make sure that this is running locally. Give me a second. I need to do a little bit of behind the scenes magic here. Let me give this another couple of minutes here, then I really do need to get going. But in the meantime, let's see if I can get it to run locally first. Ah, unsupported feature. Okay. Well, I've got a couple of things going on here. SQL Server needs to be enabled. All right. Okay, Prisma. SQL Server. Okay. Ah. All right, let's try this. Okay, wasn't the best copy and paste I've ever done. All right. npx Prisma generate. Okay, run start. And now, okay, that's what I would have expected. Oh, no, I want to be running it locally. Is that? No, it's not at 8,000. I don't remember where it is. 8080? Yeah, there we go. Okay. F12. Okay, test. All right. Whoa. Cannot update. Alrighty. Where's my update? Okay. Const ID equals task ID. Delete task ID. Oh, you stink. All right, and let's do that. Okay. There we go. And now let's, okay. So that's now working, locally anyway. It works on my machine. Let's see, npm, whoops, nope, git commit am, updated Prisma to use SQL, git push you, whoops, nope, I can just go git push. All right, and let's let that do its thing. All right, and while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna just kind of look around inside of their Azure Functions example here. Yeah, see, they're going to whack-whack.lib Prisma. Yeah, but that's not doing a, yeah, that's just initializing the client. Okay, I don't actually think I need that dist. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so all they're doing in that lib is they're just creating the new client and then exporting it. So that's like, yeah, that's not anything. We'll give this one more try. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to close it, and it'll seem kind of fitting to end on a failure. Definitely tune into Web Wednesday. Web Wednesday is a lot of fun. Definitely tune into Web Wednesday. Okay, so that's done. So now let's go back to my Svelte to-dos. And now let's go back here. Yeah, and it's still giving me that 500 error. All right. Yeah. Okay. And then it's going to take it a minute or two to show back up over here. There we go. 31. Yeah. All right. Nope, that's not the one that I want. Give this one more second here. Come on. Come on. Give me my error message. That's fine. There we go. Sort by date. There we go. Is this the one that I want? There we go. Yeah, it's still... Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and play with that later. You know, the moment I said, hey, let's try and deploy this, I had a bad feeling, and it turned out I was right. So anyway, I do want to thank everybody for everybody that's tuned in week over week for Code and Coffee. It has been a lot of fun getting around and exploring things and having things that work and having things that don't work. So do find me on Twitter, as Mallory mentioned. I am at Geek Trainer. I do host Web Wednesday. It's a weekly show, Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific. Do check that out. We have a lot of really neat guests come on and talk about different aspects of web technology. And otherwise, yeah, go enjoy the rest of your Thursday or potentially Friday, depending on where in the world you happen to be. Thanks again. And yeah, goodbye.